with the weather changing, it reminds us that it's time to get outside and start winterizing the yard, cleaning up the leaves, blowing out the sprinklers. It's just that time of year where we've got to get things prepared because we know cold's coming. But we want to also prepare some of our plants for that cold as well too, especially our less hardy plants like roses. Now roses, we can really boost their winter tolerance with a couple different things, and we really want to protect those roses so that they don't have any winter kill. We don't have problems with them for next year, and those are very valuable plants that produce such beautiful flowers. We want to take good care of them. So best thing to do is to get a rose collar, and these are plastic rose collars, and this will really help keep the mulch and the protective material we want to put in around those roses. So usually in the fall we like to not trim the roses if possible. So if they're really tall, if they're over like 3 or 4 feet, you can trim them down to maybe 2.5 or 3 feet. Just take some of the top off of those. But then once you get them kind of trimmed just a little bit, you take your rose collars, wrap them in around the roses, snap them together, and it's going to hold your mulch in around the graft of the rose to protect that rose. And so once we get that in around the rose, we're going to fill that up with leaves. I personally like the soil building conditioner because you can put that in there. It packs down nice and tightly. It'll insulate that rose and protect it so that it won't have any damage through the winter time. But before you put that collar on, you want to apply some muriate of potash and some magnesium sulfate. So before I put my rose collar down, I'll take a 1/4 cup of magnesium sulfate and a 1/4 cup of the potash and sprinkle that on the rose, and then water it really well so it gets down into the soil. Then put your collar on the rose and then fill it up with the soil building conditioner, or like I said, leaves, and some people even like mow up all the leaves off the lawn so they're kind of ground up a little bit, has a little bit of grass clippings in there. Pack that in around the roses, and then the best thing you can do is in the winter time, take your snow blower or your snow shovel and throw extra snow on top of the roses to help insulate even more. So that layer of snow, whether it's a foot or 2 feet or whatever, over the top of that mulch will really help keep your roses protected and insulated throughout the winter time. So first off, magnesium sulfate and potash, use a 1/4 cup of each of those on each rose. Water it in really well. Try not to prune as much as possible because pruning actually encourages more growth, so we want to not prune them unless they're really tall. We need to make sure they don't get damaged or broken through the winter time if they get a lot of snow on them. Put your rose collars in around the roses, fill it up with a good mulch. I prefer the soil building compost because in the spring when you take it off, you can just pull it away from the rose and work it into the soil. It has lots of good nutrient value for the roses, as well as that insulating effect that it has, and you'll be set for protecting your roses through the winter time with just those few easy steps.